Hey everyone, Restless Gardener here. Inside at the moment, I was just outside doing the video that I'm going to show you today, and I was outside earlier cleaning up after the storms yesterday. We got a lot of runoff, so I was out there raking up all of the mulch that tends to run from the edges of our beds when we get torrential downpours like we did yesterday. I think we got 2.5 inches of rain in just a couple of hours, which is a lot, and it's terribly humid out, which is why my hair looks a mess. Everything looks a mess right now. But that gave me the idea to do another plant series focused today on Summersweet, which I have several of in rain gardens and along dry creek beds. And it's, again, another tough plant for tough conditions that a lot of you might be experiencing. If you recall, or if you watched my video from the other day, Durvilla is a tough plant that can handle dry shade, while Summersweet is a tough plant that can handle wet shade, and it can also handle sun. It's a Native American plant, and it is native from most of the East Coast over through Texas. It grows along stream banks, marshy, boggy areas. Again, it can take full shade. Now, in full shade, it might be a little bit more open, and it might not bloom as prolifically. It is often considered to be the native alternative to butterfly bush because it has similar flowers, maybe not as big, and it doesn't come in all the colors. It comes in pink and white. The native species is white. There are a couple of pink cultivars. I think one is called Pink Spires and one is called Ruby Spice. Now, I have several Ruby Spice, and I also have several of just the straight species. I have 2 different varieties in my 2 different rain gardens, and then I have a Ruby Spice on a retaining wall bed, and I have 2 Ruby Spices along. We have 2 dry creek beds, and I have the one dry creek bed at the bottom of our property closer to the street where I have 2 Ruby Spices. So, that gets full sun there and is not a consistently moist bed, nor is the bed on top of my retaining wall a consistently moist bed. The Ruby Spice Summersweet on the retaining wall is almost full shade, although it's open shade. The Ruby Spice at the bottom of my property along the dry creek bed there gets full sun. The Summersweet, I'm not going to call it a Ruby Spice because it was supposed to be a 16 candles, which is white, although this one is blooming pink, so clearly the company I ordered it from sent me the wrong plant. But it's in our smaller rain garden at the front of the property. That one gets pretty much full sun as well. And again, the rain garden is not consistently moist if we don't get consistent rains, and it's doing just fine. And then I have the 3 straight species in the top rain garden, which is a much larger rain garden meant to capture a lot more runoff. And it's like in the middle of the rain garden berm. And again, the rain garden is not consistently moist if we don't get consistent rains. As a matter of fact, this year, up until just a few weeks ago, it was quite dry, and the Summersweet is doing absolutely fine. So again, it's a tough shrub that can handle all kinds of conditions. And I think a lot of gardeners out there probably have another difficult situation they might have to deal with, which is consistently moist conditions or runoff conditions that a Summersweet can handle. It is, again, it's a native shrub. It is hardy in zones 3 through 9. It can grow in full shade to full sun. It can grow in clay soil. It can handle erosion. So it can really solve a lot of problems if any of you are experiencing those kinds of conditions. So that's why I'm going to highlight this plant today. Again, it's going to be Summersweet, and I hope you learned something from the video. Thanks. Okay, so we are now outside, and this is the bottom of our property in the front yard, which I don't normally show. However, we have another dry creek bed here. You can see the stones. This is where our bottom rain garden drains to, although yesterday the rain was so heavy it overflowed. The rain garden itself overflowed. So this is Ruby Spice Summersweet. See those beautiful pink flowers? I have 2 of them here. They smell absolutely divine. All Summersweets really smell divine, and you can see butterflies, well, on a lot of the plants out here, but the Summersweet does attract butterflies. You can see not only are the flowers pink, but the buds are dark pink. really pretty. It does sucker. You can see some suckers down here. If you don't want it to spread by suckers, they're easily removable. Just prune them right off in the ground. So you can see this one is in full sun doing quite well, even though they can take a little bit of shade. Or in Pennsylvania, I would imagine in Georgia, Florida, if you're going to plant them, maybe you want to give them some shelter from the afternoon sun. And again, this is just a regular garden bed, so maybe not as moist as they like, but you can see they're doing absolutely fine here. They've been here for a couple of years. These were transplanted from other areas in the garden, as a lot of my stuff is, and these have already put on new growth. I would say these are about 4, almost 5 feet tall. This particular cultivar is one of the bigger ones. Ruby Spice can get 6 feet tall, probably almost as wide, although I have seen one in Wolf's Hollow, I don't think that's a state park, down in southern Chester County, probably all of 8 feet tall. So something to think about. So this is Ruby Spice. Now let's go check out one of the other ones. Okay, so this is my front rain garden, the smaller rain garden. And you can see the Ruby Spice, I'm assuming it's Ruby Spice. It's supposed to be 16 candles. Clearly it's not, because 16 candles is supposed to be white. And I ordered 16 candles because this is a small rain garden. I didn't want something as big as the Ruby Spice. So I guess I'm going to have to address that at some point. But this one, again, pretty much gets full sun. And if we don't get rain, this rain garden is quite dry and it's doing just fine. Although we have had a lot of rain recently. And last night, with the torrential downpours, I think we got close to 3 inches in a couple of hours. This rain garden overflowed. So clearly it got a lot of moisture, which is what this plant loves. Definitely a great rain garden plant. So again, that is, I'm assuming, another Ruby Spice, even though it was supposed to be 16 candles. But that's okay because I love pink. So let's go check out another one. Just show you the dry creek bed. Don't know that I've ever actually done a video on the dry creek bed. Sorry about the air conditioners. Got one going on each side. But you can see where it starts there. Runs the whole length of the house here on the side of the garage and empties into the rain garden down there. It captures water from the top of our property. Actually, captures water from our neighbor's property because they have their yard graded into my yard. That's, I guess, the problem when you have a house built on an empty lot surrounded by houses that have been there for 50 years. So this is the start of the dry creek bed, and there's actually a pipe in there that brings water down from behind the top of this retaining wall, and then we have a drainage box up there. Not sure if you can see those stones right there. There's a drainage box in there that brings water from that swale in my neighbor's yard. And it can be quite dramatic with heavy rain. This dry creek bed was not dry last night. Alright, so let's go check out the Summersweet up in the large rain garden. These will be just the straight species. They're blooming white. Again, they smell divine. They're on the kind of on the berm of this rain garden. And again, so they're not in the bottom of the rain garden, not getting consistent moisture, but they're doing just fine. This is the straight species again, and these can get quite large. Again, they can sucker, but easily prunable. And I can see these from the house, these white candles as they're called. You can see the pollinators love them. There's 3 of them here. Again, kind of in the middle of the berm. This rain garden so far has never filled up. So again, getting full sun Not getting consistent moisture, but doing absolutely fine. So that is Summersweet. If you have areas of your yard that are moist, or even not so moist, and you just want something that smells nice and attracts pollinators, if you have a little bit more of a wild area, Summersweet might be the plant for you. I hope you learned something from this video and enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to comment and subscribe. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.